on and talk a little bit about ego. So we're doing another 10 minute on the fly. We're addressing a video, a short that I saw on a YouTuber platform where he spoke of comment sections, and he's specifically speaking about my comments in the comment section on how he had compassion for me. However, I don't want your compassion. My comment section on this particular person's comment section was very inappropriate, I would say. So inappropriate that 5 years ago, he should have addressed the situation instead of waiting for 6 years and humiliating me. I wouldn't say humiliating. I would more say devastating me in front of millions of people while his fiance laughs about it on a side stage. It's like the new world of egotistical business behavior. The women in business is what you're seeing with Kim Kardashian. All non-educational pieces that literally just shows off the money, shows off the car, shows off the current boy toy. This is so inappropriate as a mother. However, men in business are enjoying it for some reason, and that's something that you all need to take a look at. That is if you're actually up to something. Although what I'm seeing now is cocaine parties that really aren't up to anything. I mean, I don't think people really understand the ego blocks your creativity. So all the rappers that showed up at this white party were actually being sirened out of creativity. Yet they were sitting there cheering it on and taking weird photos. So when you're in this Illuminati thing, it's all ego-based. You're not working with God, you're working with the devil. He's promising you all these things. You're denying that you're involved in the Illuminati. You don't believe in the Illuminati. It's attached to the matrix. It's all ego-driven. Take creative out. Put control in. Put nothing but shallow thought processes in, and now you have the internet. So when you're trying to educate people on behavior, you don't come in with kindness. You don't come in with kind candor. You just get direct. You just get honest. Yeah, people are going to feel bad, but that's part of the journey of life. Sorry that your soft-speaking, illogical conversation of questioning around my sex life, and I'm declining answering, it doesn't suit you. However, my publicist wants me to speak of it because it gets me, more clout. Because you're not mature enough to handle a dialogue on real conversation, which is where the internet has taken all of us. My aunt and my uncles used to go down to my Aunt Rosie and Uncle Jimmy's house every day and have coffee together on this really cool back patio that had a really nice lawn with, I think it had a fountain. And they had a big RV trailer in the front, and then everybody lived on the same street. This is in New York. And they would all go down there, and they would all have coffee in the morning. No phones, just conversation. And yeah, they gossiped. But the maliciousness level of the expansion of this gossip of where it is now to where it was then is so incredibly insane. It's incredibly insane. I mean, you don't go to lunch with your friends anymore. You go to lunch with your phone. And then you proclaim yourself to be in love with someone. However, you're only in love with the way they look. You're only in love with their status on Instagram or on YouTube. And then the real love of the life is left in the dust, in the dark, although you're stealing all their content because you're watching every move they make. And that's the new age of society, as people try to tell you to produce and create whatever it is on your mind because everyone will flock to you. If you're doing the right thing, that's not how it works right now. We've got Kim Kardashians and all her little cronies, examples at the white party, watching you. They want to mirror and model you because they don't know how to be a person because they've been handed everything, and they want to be actresses, and the internet is acting. They're actresses. The men are willing to submit to their siren calls and post their content all over their platform because it'll bring them in more attention because they like to day trade attention. Hence the fact that they don't really care about hurting their fans and followers. Even if your fan and follower is the one that you actually want to be with, they're just willing to go with it because that's what's going to get them to their goal. That's literally the new formula. And then everyone stands back and says, oh, she's just crazy. Oh, really? Maybe you should ask questions. Maybe you should stop because you're not any different than me. Because this is real life, folks. You're no different than me. You should shut your mouth and you should say, hey, maybe I should ask her really what's going on. Why is she acting like this? She's only met the guy once. Why is she so like that? Why is she posting those things? Why am I not looking at the truth of what's actually going on here? What kind of weird doo-doo is going on here that I would watch this weird behavior that I've never seen before and look at the comment section of all this hoop-ha, lollygaggling all in the comment section while you're still complaining that you still haven't produced any content. And then take a look at that girl's content pieces that you blocked off your platform because it hurts your brand. When the reality is it actually helped your brand, although you as an audience are so ignorant that you just want to cover and coat your nasty. Really, you're nasty. Well, everyone just cheers you on. Great job for posting that dumb video. I love the praises. You love the praises. That's all you love. The evidence is in the fact that these people who you are proclaiming to have compassion for, you didn't respond to them for one, and then you got sorry emails from them later because you manipulated them into thinking a certain thing when you're literally flying in private jets, claiming to be humble, prancing around with your fiance in weird outfits. And not creating any sort of movement and inviting critical race theory into your conversations with children. This is for everyone. Because you're too worried about your damn brand than you are about human as a humanity while you are engaged to a Taliban Al-Qaeda member 9/11. Let's not forget 9/11 actually happened. What they will try to do in the future is they will try to do what they did with the Jewish folk and say that the Holocaust never happened because it's too embarrassing for the culture. We're painting the picture of our future here with the way we behave. Yet no one's being the adult enough to act like an adult, even though you're 47, even though you're 54, even though you're 65, even though you're on these platforms. You're the adult. These are children. They had no discipline in their entire lives called 8th place trophies. However, you're still willing to have weird conversations with them and they still get their way in the end. And that's actually what an 8th grade trophy is. That's for parents who think that their children that are 25, who are holding money-making, successful jobs are living your legacy. I'm sorry, I'm here to tell you that your child is a psychopath. You're an airhead. You don't even see the truth. They're getting one over on you. The more followers and fans your 20, 30-something-year-old child has, the more psychotic they actually are, and you aren't even willing to stand up for yourself because you are brainwashed. Then you're going to fight against Donald Trump, who's actually trying to save you, because the millennial generation wants to create a one species race, which is black shims. Black shims, dark-skinned shims, or Persian shims. Because Mona Van, you look like a man. And so do you, Kim Kardashian. And so do all you other ones who look very strange with your damn lips that look like assholes. And that's what you think is cool. It's the perception of you being cool. You're not actually cool. Your personality is not a personality. It's a manipulation tactic of look at the energy I move in a room. The energy I move in a room is all shining upon you. Meaning when Kim Kardashian went and spoke at the Harvard Law, I believe it was, I'm going to tell you, you were all brainwashed. She's not a lawyer. When is she going to have time to be a billionaire and be a lawyer, law school student? Unless she's been given free passes the whole way. Why was Mona Van speaking at Washington, D.C., and why was Gary Vaynerchuk there? And if it was such a great speech, why isn't it recorded and why isn't it out on the internet? We all know someone wrote it for her. She just acted it out. He's so proud of you, Mona. My love. Wow, that's really a fulfilling environment of relationship, Gary Vee. I read how she's your lover and how you all were pregnant in an article, but you never addressed the article. Another tactic that the day trading attention skills of a psychopath operate. And that goes for the news media too. You all live in an ego-driven society. That means that you only care about yourselves. How you're going to grow your account, how you're going to get what you need to get to fulfill yourself. It also means you're not really willing to do any work on yourselves. And so you create a perception of yourself as if you are something, as if you're up to something, but the reality is you're really up to nothing because your audience is still stuck as if they're 12-year-old children chasing their carrots, and that's on your shoulders. Each and every one of you who hold a space on these platforms with high volume, it's on your shoulders. Your ego-driven based communities, all of you. There's no exception to this. You are not willing to put your asses on the line to educate communities on the real deal doo-doo shit that it takes, like Donald Trump and myself are. Let's not even forget the dude who went to jail for January 6th, and undeservedly. That is the Democratic Party, Pelosi, and Clinton who did that to that individual. And the only thing you see is a white man. Ego. So now we're pawns in the political scheme of the country that doesn't help its citizens. You just want to be correct. and go on vacation, but your money's running out. Because things are going to really change when you decide to continue on this fiasco of what these millennial Gen Zs are going to do to you, because you still got about 30 to 40 years left on your lifespan. The New World Order doesn't include you elderly folk. That goes for Pelosi and Clinton. That's the funniest part of all. They're just pawns in the younger generation's scheme to get what they want, while Clinton and Pelosi are using their political power associated to the CIA to use these Black Lives Matter and these other pawns in their scheme. So we've got men against women, old against young, and the list goes on, and no one willing to open their mouths and speak the truth to expose the realities of what ego actually is. We are literally watching ego all over these platforms. Let's not forget about the child abuse and the sounds of freedom that your Democratic Party, all ego driven, is operating with. Women like Mona Van are the ones responsible for creating molesters, for creating psychotic behavior, as she wears a bikini to a business luncheon in Cannes Lions, as most of those people in marketing now will now create a video in advertising where a girl in their bikini is the advertising piece, while a man who is on a verge of a mental breakdown is going to watch that commercial that Mona Van inspired and is going to now look at his daughter, and say, I'm going to molest my daughter. And that's because Mona Van wore that bikini to a business luncheon while Gary Vaynerchuk sat next to her and danced. And let's not forget about the other individuals who watched it on Mona Van's platform. You might even go as far to say it's not even about the clothing. It's the fact that she's trying to seduce Gary Vaynerchuk and everybody in the room while the camera is rolling. Because that's how she gets her rocks off. You haven't aged very well in this process, by the way, Mona Van. You look like an old hag. Still wears a hijab. It's funny to watch people with no education proclaim to have an education, because people who are doctors aren't really doctors, I guess. Maybe we should get a little interview off of the doctor's television show that she supposedly was on. The actors of physicians. Yet you still don't stand up for the medical community. You all still stay silent, risking our lives. So you can keep on with the television show? A television show that's very boring and has no real educational pieces, meaning you need to be educating people on the body systems. Yet you don't do that. You just try to sell us products all day long. And diet and nutrition and things that we don't really need to know about. We need to know about our own bodies and what our own bodies speak to us. Anyway, I just wanted to come on and talk a little bit about ego. Now, the difference between what I'm speaking of and ego is that I'm informing you of ways of more than just feedback, but I'm calling you out on your bullshit. Meaning I don't get anything off of what I'm telling you here. It's uncomfortable for me to do this. This is not something I want to do. This is not ego-driven content. This is informing you. See, strategy is all in their game of plotting and ploying and what they're putting out and how he's speaking in his podcast to tell me that he's got terrible emails from me and this and that to make me look like the bad guy so Mona will feel satisfied. That's ego. This is, I'm calling you out for who you are, what you've done, and you still sit over there completely silent as you are in Ontario, Canada, hanging out with Persian terrorists. Oh, what a society we live in, huh? As you all literally cheer it on. All 42 million of you. Because you're all ego driven and you're fearful if you said anything that you might look a certain way and then he wouldn't like you and you wouldn't be able to get your jump off. And that's another ego driven conversation. Instead of being real people. If you ask me, we got way too many people on this planet at this time. I guess that's why Elon's trying to make a second home in space so him and the rich folk can go live away from us scumbags. You're either part of the problem or you're part of the solution, and if your mouth is shut, you're part of the problem. Consider that the next time you have an opportunity to stand up for what's right versus your ego, because an ego person won't say anything. Thank you for joining me on this conversation around ego. It's never an easy conversation or topic, as I'm currently battling each and every one of your egos in the audience. Because let's get real, no one likes to be called out on their doo-doo unless they're looking for evolution in their own lives. Meaning each thing that I said on this passage of this conversation is that you are that person. Whether I use someone else's name or I used your name, you are the person I'm talking about. The names are just characters in a story, you dumbasses. So you need to take a look at yourself and how you're playing this game, because I ain't here to play. So comment, like, and share. And you got questions, you better put them in the comment section. I'm sick and tired of watching your nonsensical behavior of self-centered lies that you're posting on your platform, because it sure is getting old, just like your freaking face, gray head. You're 25 now, but you will not always be 25. Wait till you hit 39. By then, you'll be so far gone that we might as well put you down like a dog.